What happens to Jimin when Jungkook suddenly makes a surprise announcement? The army could not believe the happy news that was approaching. Check out the details. In the midst of their hectic activities, who would have thought that such a happy news could come so profound, astounding, and change the entire atmosphere in the army world? So many questions arose as the shocking news from Jungkook suddenly poured in, shaking the fans and especially Jimin, who couldn't hide his shock. Years together in a strong bond as BTS members, the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook always seemed solid. However, the news that Jungkook announced was never imagined before. No one expected that back then, Jungkook would deliver news that could change their days in the world of the army. Curious about Jimin's reaction? Army as well. Jimin, who is usually cheerful and full of surprises, looks so surprised this time, even more than one can imagine. What exactly happened? Every day we learn something new, but today, I want you to know something more important, Jungkook said. The fans were silent for a moment, waiting further for what would come after those words. However, what was said next not only shocked Jimin, but also made the entire army world gape in disbelief. What exactly happened? As Jungkook revealed what was on his mind, there was an instant of silence. Everyone present at that place, including Jimin, looked surprised. Not only ARMY, all K-pop fans, especially BTS followers, were thrilled by what they heard. Jungkook suddenly reveals that something is going to change the way they see BTS. The announcement that came so suddenly turned out to lead to a big decision that had never been imagined. Not only was the news itself shocking, but the way Jungkook revealed it to Jimin and ARMY further left fans speculating about what would happen next. After hearing the announcement, Jimin seemed to be silent for a moment, trying to digest what Jungkook had just said. However, Jimin's reaction was unexpected. Normally, he would laugh or cheer on his friends with his signature style, but this time, Jimin showed a deeper side. His eyes seemed to be glazed over, and there seemed to be a feeling hidden in him that was difficult to explain. Since then, the news spread quickly. Every corner of the K-pop world is filled with speculation, reactions, and expectations. What exactly does Jungkook mean? Will this affect the future course of BTS's career? ARMY couldn't resist their curiosity. Immediately after the announcement, social media was full of speculation regarding the news announced by Jungkook. Some argue that this is a big sign of a new project to come, while others suggest that this is a big change in BTS's career. Some have even theorized that this is a signal for something more personal, something that involves relationships between BTS members, especially Jimin and Jungkook. However, this news not only created speculation, but also attracted attention from all over the world, not only among the army. What happens next? How will the army and Jimin respond to this announcement? Jimin, who has been known for his cheerful and warm demeanor, looked very different after hearing the announcement. ARMY, who were used to seeing him full of enthusiasm, now felt anxious, because they knew that this was an important moment in BTS's journey that could not be underestimated. Of course, what happened next was very shaking, but it still kept a mystery that made many people wonder. What will Jimin do after hearing the news? Will this have a big impact on the relationship between BTS members? Despite Jimin's seeming surprise, the relationship between him and Jungkook further demonstrates their strength. There is a strong bond between the two that always beats all odds. But with the big announcement coming from Jungkook, the question arises, will this bring them closer or pave the way for a new challenge in their journey with BTS? No one can predict their future. To be sure, this news has created an unforgettable moment in the history of BTS and their relationship with ARMY. What will happen next? Will there be more surprises await? What is certain, one thing is for sure, is that the ARMY world, as well as the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook, will never be the same after that day. With every detail revealed, more and more questions come to the fore, and more surprises come. As we always know, with BTS, nothing is ever really predictable. Today may be just the beginning of a new chapter that will bring great changes for them. Jimin, Jungkook, and BTS all connected in a strong bond, and today, they prove again that the world of K-pop is always full of mysteries that are ready to shake the hearts of fans around the world. However, with the happy news coming so suddenly, it's undeniable that there was more than just happiness in Jungkook's announcement. Many began to wonder, are there more secrets hidden behind this great decision? Some of the more critical fans immediately threw controversial opinions. Is this all just a marketing trick? Why did Jungkook choose a time like this to reveal big news? They wonder if the announced happy news is really as pure as it seems, or if there is a business game behind it. Of course, BTS is known for its promotional strategies that always manage to surprise fans. However, what may surprise more than the announcement they made was Jimin's seemingly deeper and more loaded reaction. Unlike usual, Jimin, who is usually cheerful and full of spirit, looks depressed and tries hard to hide his true feelings behind a forced smile. It's not just about the happy news. There's something bigger they have to deal with, and ARMY can feel it. But does this announcement also keep a hidden agenda behind it? Some suspect that this announcement may be related to a major change that is taking place in the dynamics of BTS. Some think that the relationship between BTS members, especially between Jimin and Jungkook, may be at a more complicated point than many people think. Is this a signal that BTS is starting to move in more separate directions, looking for their individual paths? Most of the ARMY was shocked by the news, and within hours of the announcement, the internet was full of speculation. There were those who started talking about how BTS might start focusing on their individual projects, or even some who thought that the announcement was some kind of diversion from other ongoing issues within their group. Of course, this is a very sensitive and provocative topic. But how could a happy news could make Jimin's heart so anxious? With a relationship that has been established for many years, there are many things that are not revealed. And it could be that the announcement is the first step in opening a new chapter that is much more controversial. Is Jungkook planning something much bigger than we think? Some speculative sources have even begun to attribute this announcement to a major move in the global music industry, a bold move that could separate BTS from the path they've been building so far. There are also those who question whether this is all a change in the way they work as a group. Is Jungkook preparing a big move that will change BTS's direction once and for all? Or is this just the beginning of a smaller, stealthy move? And more surprisingly, there are some who theorize that this news could be just the beginning of a larger conflict that will change the way we see BTS and their relationship with each other. Is this the beginning of a major change that will shake the world of K-pop? Jimin and Jungkook, who have always been considered two sides of the same coin, now seem to be at a point of tension, where all decisions and announcements can have a greater impact than we imagine. What will happen next in their relationship? Is the happiness Jungkook announced really happiness, or is it just a sign that there is more they are hiding from their fans? BTS and ARMY have always been an inseparable unit, but this news raises an unanswered question. Can BTS still maintain their strong bond? Or is this the end of an old chapter and the beginning of something much bigger, more controversial, and more personal for each member? As the ARMY world begins to dig deeper into this announcement, they also have to deal with the fact that not all good news comes without a big question mark. Over time, we can only wait with a pounding heart and hope that whatever happens, this will all lead to something better, although many things must be revealed first. However, one thing is certain is that the worlds of K-pop and BTS will never be the same after that day. And are we ready for the reality to come? We can only wait. However, as always happens with BTS, we know one thing. The surprises that await in the future are always greater than we can imagine. With tensions running high among the ARMY, many are beginning to wonder, what exactly is hidden behind such a profound announcement from Jungkook? After the shocking news was revealed, various speculations sprang up along with questions that kept spinning. Is this a sign that BTS is already at an inevitable turning point? However, Jimin's seemingly so emotional reaction adds an increasingly dark layer of mystery. It's as if there's more than happiness in Jungkook's announcement. There's an untold tension. Some of the more discerning observers began to smell any discomfort Jimin might be experiencing. Not a few are asking, is this announcement related to an internal conflict that we don't know about yet? Along with the passage of time, their closeness has always been the main highlight. But in this moment, the mood seemed to change. When Jungkook spoke, Jimin's expression was more than a surprise. There is a faint poignancy, and it adds to the impression that not everything is going smoothly inside BTS. Of course, many hope that this happy news will bring sincere happiness. But can we really be sure that it is only about happiness per se? Is it possible that there is a hidden agenda that has not yet been revealed? Some of the more skeptical ARMY argue that the announcement may be part of a grand plan, and BTS is setting the pace for something much bigger than we've seen on the surface. Is Jungkook building a new narrative for BTS, one that is much more complex and challenging? Not only did this news shake fans up, but it also started to raise bigger questions about BTS' future. Is this announcement a sign that BTS is preparing to explore more separate paths individually? Over the years, the members of BTS have stood out as outstanding individuals, but they have always been viewed as an inseparable whole. However, this announcement may be a hint that each of them is now considering their own path, and this adds a layer of controversy that is difficult to avoid. However, on the other hand, there may be a much deeper reason why Jungkook chose to make the announcement. It could be a move prepared in advance, a statement that they want to convey to signal something bigger in the course of their careers. But why now? Is the timing really right, or is it just a way to distract from the bigger problems they're facing? In a very short time, this news spread so quickly, attracting attention not only from fans, but also international media. So many analyses and theories have sprung up, saying that this could be part of a major change in the world of K-pop. But there are also those who question whether this is an attempt to maintain relevance in an ever-changing industry, given how intense competition is in today's global entertainment world. But back to the deeper question. It is not uncommon in the world of entertainment. This kind of news is filled with hidden layers that can only be understood with time. So many people began to ask whether this news is the beginning of a new era for BTS, or even a sign that they are facing a more serious conflict. And when we talk about Jimin, who has always been considered a figure who brought light to BTS, will this affect his role in the group? Does Jimin feel cornered or more connected to Jungkook's decisions? What will happen to BTS if this news turns out to have a further, bigger, and more unexpected impact than we imagined? Just maybe, this is the beginning of a more complex story to come. However, one thing is certain is that this news adds unexpected tension and opens a new chapter in BTS's story. The ARMY must not only digest this news, but also wait anxiously to find out what will happen next. Because in the world of BTS, as in life itself, every step towards the future is always filled with surprises that are ready to shake. Are we ready for what's to come? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The ARMY world will never be the same after today. BTS may have prepared a bigger surprise than we could have imagined. A surprise that could change the course of their history forever. When the happy news from Jungkook was first revealed, the ARMY world was not only shocked, but also overwhelmed with a deep sense of bewilderment. Some fans immediately jumped with excitement, while others began to question the motives behind the announcement. Many wondered, is there a hidden reason behind Jungkook's announced happiness? Why did the announcement come so suddenly, without warning or preparation? Is it solely about personal happiness, or is there a greater purpose hidden behind it? Jimin, who has long been known as someone who always supports his colleagues, seems to be feeling the deeper impact of this news. His reaction couldn't be hidden, and his slightly forced smile indicated that there was a heavier feeling being harbored. Part of the ARMY began speculating that it wasn't just about Jungkook's personal happiness. There is something bigger going on behind the scenes. Some observers even claim that relations within the group may begin to experience an inexpressible tension, and this is a turning point in BTS's journey. In fact, some media outlets began to discuss the possibility that this news could be the starting point of a major change in the dynamics of the group. Are BTS preparing to reduce their cooperation as a whole? If this announcement is indicative of more separate measures. Many feel worried that this could lead to an inevitable split. The entertainment world, especially in K-pop, is famous for all its complicated internal dynamics. Not infrequently, big decisions are made to embark on individual projects that have the potential to change the course of one's career. And in this case, Jungkook and Jimin are two inescapable figures to watch out for. Of course, there are those who argue that this may just be a strategic move that has been prepared to maintain the relevance of BTS in an increasingly competitive industry. Is this news just part of a larger strategy to keep them at the top? Some of the army even suspect that Jungkook may be preparing an even bigger surprise, something that could change the game in the K-pop world. However, the most disturbing is the feeling that is buried in Jimin. Is he really happy for Jungkook, or is there something that makes him doubt the decision? It's not the first time we've seen tension within the group, but this time it feels different. There is something that leads to big unanswered questions. Did Jimin feel marginalized by the decision? Is the relationship of the two of them, which previously always looked harmonious, being tested? Some army even began to question whether BTS would remain united as we know it. With every big news coming from the group,